Hey, hello again, everybody. Fred York here from Let 'em Run on a beautiful Thursday evening here in New Jersey. Happy 4th of July weekend, everybody. Hope you're looking forward to a good weekend of fun as well as some horse racing, which there is plenty of horse racing to look at. And Let 'em Run is here to give you some insight once again into the races at Gulfstream Park. We will also be looking at today 3 races that'll be run on Saturday at Saratoga, which started today. Today's not their official start, but it's still Saratoga Racing, and it is their Belmont at Saratoga 4th of July Festival. It was a great start. They had 11 races. There were some interesting races. I got a little insight into what's going on the turf at Saratoga. We'll talk about that a little bit when we cover the 3 races, and there are turf races that we will be covering at Saratoga on Saturday, July 5th, races 8, 10, and 11. All turf races, including the Kelso Stakes, big time race there at Saratoga, and the Belmont Oaks, which is a big $500,000 stakes race for fillies, 3 years old. Good horses in a race. Tonight, our segment on Thursdays, as you know, if you follow Let 'em Run, and if you do, we thank you. Hit like and subscribe. We talk about on Thursday nights our one-horse wonders, where in each of the races we look at, we're going to pick one horse and tell you why, so you won't have to wonder why we pick him. We're going to tell you why we like that horse, and it's been working out very well the last couple of weeks at Gulfstream Park. Last week, our top contenders, because in each race we pick a top contender in each race, and a top pick, I should say, and then we pick 2 contenders to go along with that top pick in each race. Last week at Gulfstream Park, 3 of our top picks had a little case of a disease you don't want if you're a bettor, seconditis. But in our contenders pool, 3 of our horses came in first and paid a nice price. So keep an eye on those picks too that we do, our contenders, because we pick them for a reason as well. And again, we cover that tonight. We're going to pick and talk about our top pick tonight, who our top pick is and why, and give you some insight. So again, you don't have to wonder why. That's why we call it One Horse Wonders. And those will be races 7 through 11 at Gulfstream Park for Saturday, July the 5th, right after the 4th. And I hope we all have a good weekend. Looking forward to it. I know the weather up here is going to be nice this weekend. Thankfully, we've been suffering for some like crazy hot weather, crazy rainy weather, but it's going to be nice there. And I believe it's going to be nice in Saratoga the rest of the weekend, as well as Gulfstream Park, which tends to be, we always talk about that, fast and firm, and that's a big help. But don't forget to also tune in on Saturday at 12:30, where myself and maybe Sean Miller, Sean, my man, is currently now in the North Wildwood, soaking up some sun and fun. I hope he's having a great time down there. Sean's doing a lot of behind-the-scenes work to continue to get our information out there to many venues, and he's doing a great job with that, and I do appreciate that, Sean. I just want to say that, so I hope you have a good time down there for this lovely 4th of July weekend down there in beautiful North Wildwood. So be sure to tune in, though, at Saturday at 12:30 after the scratches and any conditions that may change, whether it's jockey changes, certainly any conditions that might affect the tracks, whether they change from fast or firm. We'll cover that because that may have an impact, too, on what we do. So let's get into it. First, we're going to talk about Gulfstream Park, and I want to talk a little about what's going on right now currently in this Royal Palm meet down there that runs for about another 2 months, and talk a little about the jockeys and the trainers and who's doing really, really well down there. We talk about the trainers first, the jockeys first. Edgar Zayas, of course, he has certainly always been the number 1 jockey down there in Gulfstream Park, and he continues to do extremely well right now, leading the jockey standings with 68 wins. Second behind him is Emicio Jaramillo, another good jockey down there, who is in second with 50 first place. And then Jose Morales with 41. wins. Edwin Gonzalez with 40. Miguel Vasquez with 39. And a few others down the line have some numbers. So Edgar Zaya is currently looking, be the top rider down there, which is often the case at Gulfstream Park, sitting on 68 wins out of 297 mounts. They all have similar amounts ranging from 297 to 250. So they're all getting, anywhere from 250 to 300 mounts in the current meet. So there's about 2 more months to decide who ends up getting the title as the leading jockey at Gulfstream Park for the Royal Palm meet. But let's turn our attention now a little bit to the trainers, okay? And we know all about Saffie Joseph Jr. He certainly is the name that is often associated as the #1 trainer in Gulfstream Park, and rightfully so. However, it's taken a little bit of an interesting turn right now among the trainer standings. I know these are names we've mentioned before. If you've watched our podcast, you've seen these names mentioned before. But right now you got Saffie Joseph Jr. at 29 wins. We have Jose Francisco D'Angelo at 28 wins and Carlos David at 26 wins. And there's a few others with some nice wins. Victor Barboza, Antonio Sano, and a very interesting trainer to keep your eye on, Laura Cazares. So let's talk about that. So the trainer standings are pretty close. 29, 28, 26, and it falls off to 17. But percentage-wise, it's interesting, too, because Carlos David has 26 wins. Saffie Joseph Jr. has 29 wins. But Saffie Joseph Jr. has twice as many starts as Carlos David. So he's winning at a 32% rate, while Saffie Joseph Jr. is winning at an 18% rate. Neither one is a terrible rate to win at. And the other interesting one, as I mentioned, is Laura Cazares, who also wins at about a 32% rate. She only has 32 starts, but when she puts them out there, pay attention, because when she puts them out there, she's putting them out there to win. So I would certainly keep her name in the back of your mind when you're looking at these races to analyze which trainers are doing how. Again, the jockey standings are very close. The trainer standings are very close. Jockey standings always, you're going to have Edgar Zayas Jr. being the leader, but he's being trailed closely by a couple other guys riding as well. And the 2 jockeys that we've talked about in the past, Luis Fuenmayor and Jaguar Torres, both of those young apprentice riders are doing very well. So just some names to think about as we dive into right now the Gulfstream Park late pick 5 and races 7 through 11. And we're going to cover our 1-horse wonders and talk about which horse we like the most and why. So let's do it right now, everybody. And we're going to go first to race 7. It's 5.5 furlongs, a synthetic claiming race for $25K. Nice field of 10 in this race. So you're going to have some choices right now. That's the field that currently exists. Of course, we'll find out more on Saturday morning after the scratches. But we just mentioned trainer Victor Barboza. He is certainly having a good meet. And the number 9 horse, St. Cloud, with the morning line of 5-1, is the horse who we like. Barboza is putting Jaramillo on this horse. It's the first time on this horse. This horse has some very good early pace figures to look at. And in a field like this, in a short race of 5.5 furlongs, you want to see a horse get out. And this horse, St. Cloud, the number 9 horse at 5-1, this is only his 3rd race. He won his last time out impressively with a nice field of 8. He dug in. He was challenged at the finish line and was able to finish and hold on by a half. So I think this horse has a big chance. He's also getting Lasix for the first time. And I think the race that he ran in, the maiden special weight that he won at 5 furlongs on the synthetic, is a good test to see how he's going to do in this claiming $25,000 race at 5.5 furlongs on synthetic once again. So again, our top pick in race 7 is the number 9 St. Cloud at 5-1. Let's go to the next race that we're going to look at next, which is race 8 at 4:40 Eastern time. 1 mile on dirt. And now we're going to drop to the bottom, which is cool. There's also good horses here to look at. Makes it a little more interesting when you get to the lowest level of racing at any venue, whether it's Saratoga, which obviously their lowest level is going to be probably most likely better than a lot of other venues in terms of their lowest level. But it's a claiming $6,250 race. Nice field of 9 in this race. So you have some horses to pick from and to choose from. I locked in on my top pick, the number 4, Lace Up, with the morning line of 5-2. This horse is looking for 3 in a row now, and he has the apprentice jockey we just mentioned staying with him for the 3rd time in a row, 4th time in a row, Luis Fuenmayor. He's the right guy for the job, and it looks like back-to-back 74 Beyer speed figures for this horse bode very well in a race like this. He's got a better post this time out than the last time, and I certainly think he is going to take advantage of that. He was a little bit wider last time in the 10 post. This time he's in the 4 post, so that helps a little bit in a race that is, a mile on dirt. So again, our pick for race 8, our top pick is the number 4, Lace Up, but I think we certainly have picked this horse before when we broke down races in the past. Okay, let's move on to race number 9 at Gulfstream Park. It is a tricky 7-furlong dirt race, $25,000 claiming race with a nice field of 8, a 5:13 Eastern Standard Time starting time. Again, nice little field of 8. You could look at a lot of horses in here who have run at 7 furlongs, which I think is a factor because 7 furlongs is kind of a tricky distance to dole out the fractions on a horse. It's an interesting distance, and you'll talk to trainers and jockeys about that, and they'll tell you it is tricky because it's not really a sprint. It's not really a route. It's kind of like in that little mix of both. But only 2 horses in this field have won at 7 furlongs, but I'm not taking one of those. I'm taking the number 4, Coldstream, morning line of 9-5. So he's been getting better and better each time out. This is only his 4th race. He came in first once, ran second twice, looking again to put another W next to his name. Edgar Zayas got off of this horse, but Saffie Joseph Jr. is the trainer, and he put on a very capable jockey on the horse, Miguel Vasquez. This horse is also number 1 prime power, and he's a 5-year-old. So he's only had 3 races as a 5-year-old. It's not a lot of races really for a 5-year-old. They've spaced the races out a little bit. He's working out really well for the return to this race. He's got some solid workouts to lead up to this race. And Zayas went from this horse to another horse for Saffie Joseph Jr. that he's ridden before. So I guess he had his choice. This race that the number 4 Coldstream last raced in on April 4th was a key race where the 3rd place finisher that he beat came out to win next time out. So interesting to note too that the Beyer speed figure par in this race is 79, and this horse put up an 83 last time. His Beyer speed figures have been getting better and better. Even if he runs not his best race, I think his not best race is good enough to take this field down. So again, we're looking at the top pick, number 4, Coldstream, going off or morning line at 9-5. We'll see what he goes off on Saturday. So let's go ahead and move on now to the 10th race in this pick 5 sequence at Gulfstream Park. And now we're looking at a 1.70 on synthetic. This is the stakes race that they have lined up for this sequence. It is the Soldiers Dancers Stakes, $75,000 stake race, 1.70 on synthetic. Nice field of 9 in this field. So nice field of 9 horses in this field. So you've got some choices to look at. And again, our 1-horse wonder is a very interesting horse, the number 5 horse, Prevent. If you look at this, I loved reading this horse's past performances and the kind of races that this horse raced in. His last two out were, last race out was a 1 3/8 on turf, big time route marathon on turf. Before that, 1.5 miles, 1.16 on synthetic. Before that, 2 miles on turf. But I'm going to go back to the time that he did run very well on synthetic at Gulfstream Park at 1.16 and 1.70, where came in second, came in first. Edgar Zayas was on for those runs. Edgar Zayas is on this horse again. So that adds another big check mark next to the number 5 Prevent. Why this horse is certainly going to be a big reason why we pick him as our top pick. And we mentioned that Carlos David is one of the hot trainers at Gulfstream Park, hitting at 32%. And this horse has raced 10 times on synthetic, came in first 3 times, came in second 3 times, loves the distance. Last 3 times out, he got checked, he got bumped. So I really didn't have a chance to do much. But those are higher level races too. One was a grade 2, another one was a stakes race. So he's been in some interesting stakes company. But it's just interesting. This horse has tried everything when you look at his past performances. And I think with the blinkers on today, I think that's why they put the blinkers on, actually blinkers back on, because he had the blinkers on all the previous races. They took him off the last race when he got checked early and really came up empty. They gave him some time off then, but he's been coming back, working out well. Trainer Carlos David hits at 28% when going from turf to synthetic. So that adds another check mark next to why in the 10th race we like the number 5 Prevent with a morning line of 5-1. And I would love to see that morning line stay in that neighborhood of 5-1 when Saturday rolls around. But if you follow us at 12:30 on Saturday, July 5th on Capital Sports Network, you'll be able to see exactly what we're talking about when we discuss any changes that come up or not in these races and how they may affect the picks we made. So let's go to race 11, the final leg of the late pick 5 at Gulfstream Park, 6:21 Eastern Standard Time, another 5 furlong sprint race on a synthetic, claiming $8,000, non-winners of 2 lifetime. So all the horses in this race are looking for victory number 2. And the horse that we're going to pick, I think this is one of my favorite picks today for so many reasons. I'm going to go over them because that's what we do in our One Horse Wonder segment. Why I really like the number 1 Culminate, 9-2 morning line in a very nice field of 10 at the moment. Again, scratches could affect that, but the field of 10 is scheduled to line up. I love this horse, the number 1 horse Culminate. Edwin Gonzalez gets on this number 1 Prime Power for, again, Carlos David, one of the hottest trainers down there in Gulfstream Park. He's dropping in class. He's got speed. Certainly, to me, taking the blinkers off is also a strong move for the trainer, Carlos David. 39%. He likes to do that a lot. And when he does it, the horse wins quite a bit. Horse has very good early speed, is getting the rail, very important in a short race of 5 furlongs, particularly on synthetic. And I think this is going to be a very good opportunity for this horse to put another W next to his name. He broke his maiden at 5 furlongs at Gulfstream Park, 3 back. Then he got put into a $25,000 race. Ran okay, showed speed, but gave it up at the end. Then they dropped him down back a little bit to a claiming 12.5. Again, got out very well, but did not finish the job. I think this time at this level, you're going to see the number 1 Culminate finish the job and go ahead and take the W. And let's take a look at that horse at 9-2. I hope it stays in that neighborhood because that certainly would be a big reason to continue to look at that horse. But again, on Saturday, we will at 12:30 be on Capital Sports Network once again at 12:30. Maybe, I don't think with my man Sean Miller, because I think he's still going to be soaking up the rays and enjoying some nice cold beverages down there in Wildwood. So I hope he's having a great time. But we will be on at 12:30, let him run to review these 7 races a little bit more in a little more detail. when the scratches and any condition changes, whether they be tracking changes or jockey changes, come to light. Okay, that's my move for Sean Miller. That's his move when he's going to say something special. What I'm going to say right now is let's look at some really exciting races. And I love Saratoga. I've been up there many times. If you haven't been there, you got to get up there. Our friend Alex Viola was up there during the Belmont, which was an unfortunate rain mess up there. Took a lot of the races off the turf. They rescheduled them the next day. That created such a big change of venue for all the horses and the trainers and everything going on. And one of the races that we're going to talk about, the particular race, the Belmont Oaks, we'll talk about why that race that day, June 7th, when our buddy Alex Viola was up in Saratoga, where I'm going to be June 24th, 25th, and 26th with my man Jimmy Mayer, best high school baseball coach in Mercer County and possibly New Jersey. Going to go up there and do some horse racing together and make some good picks. And we're probably going to do a live podcast from there, so that should be fun. That's July 24th, 25th, and 26th. But let's get back to Saratoga. And one of the things I watched all the races today from Saratoga, speed is holding up on turf. Speed is holding up on turf. It happened many times. There was a lot of chalk. In the 11 races that they had, 8 races were more or less chalk. There were 3 races. Chris Elliott took a horse home for about $15. Chris Elliott, an apprentice jockey. I think he is still apprentice, the son of Stuart Elliott, tremendous jockey out of Philadelphia who rode one of the better horses in Philadelphia to a win in the Kentucky Derby. And he also is riding again tomorrow at Saratoga. So I want to keep an eye on Chris Elliott. But in the 11th, 10th, and 11th race, there was a $17 winner that was ridden by Javier Castellano. And then in the 11th race, the final race, the horse that won paid $24. I don't recall who the jockey was, but we'll cover that on Saturday. But so it was more or less a chalk fest. 8 out of the 11 races were chalk. 3 had some prices, so that was good. Smarty Jones, sorry, I had a little brain freeze there talking about Stuart Elliott and the horse that he rode, Smarty Jones. Okay, let's talk about these races at Saratoga. The first one we're going to talk about is race 8, 4:29 Eastern Standard. Nice little sprint race, 5.5 furlongs on the turf. Optional claiming $75,000. Non-winners of 2. So once again, every horse in this race is looking for its second victory. There's a nice field of 9 with a couple of main track onlys in the race, which I don't think that's going to come into a factor because I don't think there's going to be rain. At least that's what they're talking about today for Saturday. But let's talk about the 8th race at Saratoga. And my top pick is the number 2, number 2, Boats Are Rocking. And again, one of the reasons I like this, and it comes up twice in these races that we'll talk about, the jockey on the 2-horse Boats Are Rocking, Angel Rodriguez, hits at 27%. Not a household name in Saratoga, not a household name perhaps to a lot of people, but a very excellent rider at Penn National. He wins a lot of races. And the trainer also, Brendan Culp, very good trainer at Penn National, also not a household name. So I think the current morning line of 9-2 in Saratoga is definitely going to float up because, again, the trainer-jockey combination doesn't ring a lot of bells for people, but it rings a lot of bells for me because when you look at these 2 individuals, the jockey trainer together in the last 60 days, they put together around 63 races over the last 2 months, and they've hit at 46% win, 84% in the money. So that horse is also a number 1 prime power against all these horses in a nice little optional claiming $75,000 race. And if you look back, he raced back in June about a year ago at Saratoga at this distance and won with a 93 Beyer speed figure, went to the lead, has the best U.S. time pace figure of the field of 122. The jockey who's on him is coming in for his only mount because the trainer and the jockey win a lot together. I love that angle as well. He's working lights out to get ready for this race. He's had several subpar workouts, didn't reach a bull, but a 47 second, a 46 second, a 47 second and change. So I love this horse. The trainer hits at 27% sprints. So take a good look at that horse in the 8th race at Saratoga. The number 2, he's also, by the way, he's the number 2 horse, but because there's 2 number 1 horses, one is a turf entry, one is an MTO, he has the post position number 1, number 2 horse. Another big advantage for a short race like this. So keep that in mind too. Oh, also, Angel Rodriguez on turf, he wins at 27%. He knows how to ride horses on turf. So I think that horse is going to get a lot of looks, perhaps from people who look at other things other than the names that normally win races in Saratoga. I think that's okay by me because that's just going to bring the price or keep it at 9-2 or make it float up to 6-1 or 7-1 or 8-1, whatever it might be. Definitely use that horse in a lot of your picks. Okay, let's go to race number 10. Very nice race, the Kelso Stakes Grade 3 race, $175,000, 1 mile on turf. It's got a nice field of 8 in it, again with a couple MTOs, main track onlys, that I don't think are going to be needed. So I landed on Think Big, the number 3 horse, number 1 Prime Power. Jose Ortiz gets on him. This horse is right now looking to stretch out to a mile. His pedigree says he can do it. He is out of Twirling Candy. His Tomlinson distances is about 377. That's the best in the field. In addition to that, so he's going to show good speed, but he's not a speed horse, and I think that may come in handy in this race. And also the trainer, Michael Stidham, when he does sprint, and then puts a horse in the route, which is exactly what this race or what this horse has done. And he's done both of those sprint races where he run a grade 2 race in Churchill Downs and won a grade 2 race at Keeneland, has run in some quality races. Sorry for that delay there. But he's won some quality races. Morning line 7-2, stretching out. Jose Ortiz getting on. Another plus. Ben Curtis has ridden this horse for a long time. Good jockey. But I think Jose Ortiz can give this horse a good ride and take him home for the W. Okay, this is the most interesting race, in my opinion, of the day on Saturday at Saratoga. It's the 11th race, the last race of the day there. It's 1 1/8 on turf, the Belmont Oaks Invitational, grade 1 race, $500,000, a nice field of 7 with some really nice horses in the race. The top horse that's going to be looked at is going to be the number 7, Nitrogen. Morning line currently is 4-5. It's not on picking. I really broke this race down and looked hard and decided, okay, I think I'm going to look at a price horse in this race. The horse Nitrogen has won 5 in a row. He's looking for 6. No question. If you land on him, you can make a ton of reasons why that horse is going to be the favorite. I don't mind that. But let's talk about the number 6, Mayday Ready. Here are a number of things that I like about this horse. Franco Dettori is coming in for 1 mount. He knows this horse well. He's the only jockey who's ridden this horse, so he knows this horse inside out. This horse has won 3 times in his lifetime out of 6 races he's had in his lifetime. The last race he raced at, which is what I was talking about earlier when our buddy Alex Viola was up in Saratoga for the Belmont when it rained like cats and dogs. This was a race that both Nitrogen, the 7 horse, and Mayday Ready, the 6 horse, were in the same race. They took it off the turf, and there was only 3 horses in the race on a really, really sloppy track. Yes, Nitrogen won, and Mayday Ready basically did not even run, didn't like the slop. Frankie Dettori said, no way, I'm not going to push him, let him go. Nitrogen won by like 13 lengths. Good. The race I'm looking at that's more interesting to me is the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Filly Turf back in November at Del Mar in November of 24. That was a big race with a big field, 14 horses in that race. Both horses got bumped around a little bit, meaning they were both in that race, Nitrogen and Mayday Ready. Mayday Ready ran by Nitrogen and almost won the race, but certainly came in second. Nitrogen came in third. They both got bumped around a little bit, so I don't think neither one of them had a clean break. But now this horse has the number 6 horse, Mayday Ready, has a better post. Certainly, Dettori knows him well, and Frank Dettori coming in for one mount. I love that angle. It's worked a lot, and I think he is coming in to win. So at 10-1, I would certainly keep that horse in mind in terms of whether you're going to do some exactas or trifectas or going to use them in your pick 5. The late pick 5 at Saratoga today paid about $5,400, fueled by the 10th and 11th race, where a $17 winner came in the 10th race and a $24 winner came in the 11th race. The other 3 races were kind of chalky, but that's what can happen. You got to get lucky in one race and bring in 1 or 2 big numbers, and you could be sitting on a nice payday. So these horses are our top picks in those races. On Saturday at 12:30, as we mentioned, we will be talking about the entire field, and as well as our top pick, review that, and then cover our contenders. Again, each race we pick a top pick, 2 contenders, tell you why we like them, and we will go from there. So stay tuned. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Once again, appreciate you checking in with us. Don't forget to check in on Saturday, this Saturday, July the 5th. Have a great 4th of July. I hope you enjoy. Have some fun. Pick some winners. Have some beverages. Enjoy and stay tuned. Good luck. And always, always, always let them run. Oh, Sean. Oh, Sean.
Hey,
I didn't end it yet. Thank God. What are you on a ride?
just on location, on the boardwalk here, on location. Just listening to some of your picks.
How'd you like it? What'd you think?
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff.
Well, listen, I watched Saratoga today, and it was great. Saratoga was so fun to watch. There are a lot of good races. I just mentioned the late pick 5 at Saratoga, knocked in for 54,000. 5,400. How you doing down there in Wildwood? How's the weather? Nice, hot. Still looks very nice down there.
It's very, very warm down here for the thing. Obviously 4th of July down here, so going to be very, very warm. So.
Well, Sean, in the early part of the podcast tonight, I mentioned the fact that you're super busy now with all these opportunities coming up and the different ways we're going to expand what we're doing right now. You want to take a minute and just touch on that for some of our folks who are still listening?
Yeah, I mean, we have some, we're launching a bunch of different sites right now. You obviously, if you followed us, we're on Sports Talk Florida and Sports Talk New York, but Sports Talk New Jersey, and the one that's really blown up right so far is Sports Talk United, which is obviously my soccer site.
Absolutely.
We have we just hired, I think, 10 or 12 more writers.
Awesome.
We're going to have, probably by the time the season kicks off in a month and a half, we'll have about maybe 20 writers. So
nice.
That should be pretty good. And obviously, we're going to start doing a lot of podcasting, a lot of different shows. We hired a hockey guy. We hired a basketball guy. We had a bunch of college football shows from all over the country, SEC, Big 12.
Really?
ACC, yeah, NFL shows. Mark Eckel. We got
Mark
soccer
Eckel,
shows.
one of the top NFL guys, and then I know you know him well, and we know him well. Great guy.
Yeah, yep. And we got soccer shows left and right and center. So we're gonna have a lot of different programming coming on the channel and everything. So should be
Sean,
good.
I'm gonna give you a little Seanism right here. So here I go. Hey,
let's go.
All right, listen. I hope you have a great time, Sean. It was so great that you stopped on to say hello, man. I miss you. I know you won't be around on Saturday again, but if you're available and you want to pop in on Saturday, stop in at the end and say hello. That'd be great. All right, brother?
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna try to stop in. We might be on the beach. We might be in the middle of the water. I might be doing the show from the ocean with some dolphins swimming through, but
Put a
I will
raft out
try to
there.
get there. Yeah,
Put a
yeah.
raft out there. Put a raft out in the water and do it from there. That'd be cool.
That's right. That's right. We're gonna try to see what we can do. But all right, I'll talk to you guys. Just wanted to say hi. So talk to
All
you
right,
everybody
Sean.
later.
Thanks for stopping by, brother.
Uh,
Have a good rest of the
see
weekend
you.
and happy 4th, brother. All right, later.
You as well. You're
Thank you.